Morning ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another day of the video. Darren, how's it going today? Today it is Friday, got that Friday feeling going, ladies and gentlemen. No I don't, I'm bored. I need to do some work. So, what's been going on today? Today got up, I felt so tired this morning. Like I didn't hear Laura get up to her first alarm. Laura gets up like 10 minutes before me now. I got up at my alarm went off at past while she was in the shower, and I was like, listening to the song because I listened to the radio, and yeah, so that was that really. It was slow getting up, and I woke up and I'm like, oh why? It's because normally I used to get up at 6 and I'd get up, shower, go. You know what I mean? Like I'd have shit to aim for. Whereas today I'm getting up early to sit here at my desk and work. So where are my glasses actually? So ladies and gentlemen, today not much exciting's going on, to be honest with you. I am doing programming. I've got my code to the point, in fact, take the whole case in. I've got my code to the point where it will go through the array that I give it. It'll separate it all out and it will relax it once. Obviously I can then make it relax it several times. But what I need to do is figure out how to get those threads communicating to each other so that I can then... What I'm going to do to start with is like a proof of concept, is get them all to like work on their own section of the array and then say when they're finished. And it's just send a message and then they'll all stop. That's my plan. Then what I need to do is on every loop through I need to pass certain bits of information so that the next loop can use information from the other threads and all that kind of shit. So. But that means working your way through C documentation and OpenMPI documentation, which I'm not really a fan of. What I do like is, I remember when I was doing the Java work, I was searching for documentation on certain things, like if I was ever using classes and stuff that I wasn't really, like I can't, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I wonder how this specific method works in relation to, what was it? An example. Say like string dot concatenate. Does that take two things and then return it, or does it do, you know what I mean? So I was looking up documentation for that, and then I was looking at the Java stuff, and then it will take me to, because obviously my search history from when I was at work is just like C# pure. It would take me to C# documentation. I'd be like, oh look at all this nice, clean, clear documentation. Oh no, wait, I need to go to Java documentation, which is a mess. And C documentation is even worse. So yeah, I'd love it when I find a link and it says like MSDN on it. MSDN is fucking beautiful. But yeah, so that's now what I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen. Fighting the daily fight at the moment, where around this time, it's like 11 o'clock-ish now. Well, it's gone 11, actually 11:30. Where I wander into here, I just step away from the keyboard, wander into here and think about having a custard cream or a biscuit or something. Every single time. It's always at this time as well. It's ridiculous. So yeah, maybe just some washing up later as well. But it's really difficult to not snack on things when you're at home. Like at uni, when tea isn't readily available, like I'm fine, I don't even want tea, but when it is readily available, all I want in my little life. Strange. I only just noticed this. Essentially what you've got to do is you've got to average all of these numbers until it stops changing. So you get like a great big array of numbers and you average them all using its neighbours. And as soon as it stops changing its value, it's relaxed, and you go to within a certain precision. I've just realised, I've still got the 3 threads, run on all 3 threads, and the second one never finished. It was just like infinite looping. And I'm like, what's happening then? So I go through, try and add some like, it's all sharing, they've all got the same code in, except for like certain areas where they're only separate by one method, like a controlling method, and then they call all the same methods underneath it. So I'm like, trying to figure out how to get printouts without it just being unreadable, because all of them are printed out the same thing, but then also not giving certain methods information they don't need. Like the relaxation method doesn't need to know what thread ID there is, and all that kind of shit. So go through it all, and I realised that I'm passing my precision through as an integer, and it's supposed to be a double. It's like 0.5 zeros and then 1. So I'm like, how the fuck is this even like, how is it even working for the other two threads? Because it's just changing the position to 0, and apparently it's getting to the point where it's not even changing at all, which is impressive. Which probably means, like, to be fair, earlier I run it and it did go to like 10,000 iterations before it stopped. Now it's only going to 350 thingy. That's good. Saved a lot of time there. There's that problem fixed. I'm procrastinating because I'm not procrastinating. I'm trying to work, but it's not really much fun learning how different objects and shit work. Like this OpenMPI messaging. It's not really much fun. What's fun is building something and knowing how to build it. I'm in the scenario where I know what I want to do, I've just got to figure out how to do it. That's less fun than knowing what you got to do, knowing how to do it, and then doing it. That makes sense? Like, it's in what I'm doing, essentially, it's a really boring thing. I'm just sending a message. But I've got to go jump through 1,000,001 hoops to do it. And unfortunately, because it's C, it's not very nice to me. It's not an easy, well, it's not trivial. It's not a case of, oh, just .send or something. Objects. Yay, post has just arrived, which is half the reason why I was staying in today and went down to town. Because I went down to town obviously yesterday to meet Laura for lunch, but it was a wet and miserable day. Today's a nice dry day. Still miserable, but dry. But I wanted to stay in today because I was getting the last bit of post through for Christmas presents and stuff. I remember ages ago I ordered something and it got lost. It literally got lost in the post. So they got a refund for it, then had to reorder it, and this time thankfully it came. So good stuff. Cool, right, it's 12 o'clock. Am I hungry yet? I just had a cup of tea, so I'm not really that hungry. I'm gonna have soup for dinner. And you know what soup I'm gonna have? I have one of these bad boys. I fucking love that tin of soup. And every now and again, right, I'll show you. It's this, and it's definitely a recommendation because it's gorgeous. The problem is with it, it's like £1. I think in Sainsbury's it's £1.20 a can, and every now and again it goes down to £1. However, every now and again, Asda, for some reason, put it on the same deal as their normal tins, because it's like an extra special, look at me fancy, tin of soup. It used to be like a red label soup, like, wait, I'm vlogging about soup now. It used to look like this, where it'd literally just be like soup, and then this would be the same, but then they made it like black, and it was like, ooh, look how fancy it is, it's the premium brand. And then they upped the price to like £1.20 a can instead of, like, what is it, 60p a can? I don't know. Anyway, the normal tins, the 60p tins, every now and again go to like 5 for £3, 6 for £3 if you're lucky in Sainsbury's. Asda normally does 5 for £3 and stuff like that. But Asda, unlike all of the other supermarkets I go to, sometimes, foolishly, puts these cans, the extra special £1.20 cans, on 5 for £3 as well, which is a fucking ridiculous deal, so I bought 10. It doesn't come around very often though, so you have to make the most of it when it happens, which is why I've got a stash of soup in my office. Thinking it's going to be lunchtime. I'm going to have some lunch, nearly 1, it's a respectable time to have lunch, and then wrap some presents and then come back to it. I'm trying to figure out how to coordinate these. Last time I did this, I did it as kind of a manager-worker scenario. This time I'm trying to avoid that because manager-worker didn't really work out for me last time. And this time communication's even slower. So I'm going for more of an even approach where you just have like even, it's more like, what's it called? Time warp, in the sense that you've just got a load of equal things that kind of sit in between each other and then just send messages and say like, oh, at this point this changes, or at this point this changes. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I've just like, people have started talking about it on the chat and they're doing the manager master slave thing. It's really fucking annoying. Because now I feel like I did one thing in the first one and then I changed to what they're doing and now they've changed to what I'm doing. I'm like, fuck, which is the right one to do? But I think this way should in theory go quite well, I think. So yeah, that is my planaroo. I just realised I've been sat in the dark. Like, I just casually flipped over to like Google and got blinded, and I'm like, bloody hell, that's bright. And then I realised that it's actually, this room is really bloody dark. There's also a helicopter outside. It's just that my screens are dark, so it's less obvious. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, I have messages flying about left, right and bloody centre at the moment, and I've just got to figure out, like, I'm sending messages, I just need to nail down how to receive them, because I do seem to enter some kind of infinite loop. And I believe it's something to do with the fact that I'm trying to receive a message from someone who has already sent one. I think that's what it is. Which is annoying, but we shall see. It's because I don't want it to be like I want it from you. Essentially what I have is, as soon as you've finished, you broadcast out saying you've finished, and then you're the number one, you're the dude. So you sit there and go, right, okay, everyone knows that I've finished, they're just going to send me stuff. And then depending on what, like, no matter what order that is, I'll merge all the answers together and print it all out. Instead of having like like a master who may not potentially finish early. Like, this is where it gets easier if you do the master and thread thing, because your master will always be the same one and it does nothing but collect all these messages and shit. But I don't want to do that, do I? I don't want to mess about with anything like that. Though, if you did that, you could have a master that just spins up like 64 threads and just sits and waits on those 64 threads and goes do-do-do-do. You know? Could do. But it's by the by. That's not what we're doing this time, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, but yeah, it's 20 past 4. Time's flown since lunch. But yeah, it's going relatively productive. Like, it's a bit of a pig having to send all these messages about. It is a bit ugly, but I think that this is a pretty good way of doing it. Like, the way that I'm solving this problem seems to be what I would consider really, like, it's efficient this time. Instead of the old way where I kind of knew that it would be quite an overhead to manage. Well, no, I didn't know that. But like this time I do generally think that you can't really get much faster than the way I'm doing it. But yeah, I've just got to figure out why it is that my final thread it doesn't seem to be able to get the last message. No, the reason it doesn't get the last message is because it gets the message from the first guy, returns it, gets the message from the first guy, returns it, then comes back in and checks the first guy for another message, and it shouldn't do that. How can I stop it doing that? Ladies and gentlemen, I've actually got an idea. I've just thought of one. So, what I have at the moment then, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to rephrase this. Well, no, to be fair, I've just figured out how messaging works. That's basically as simple as it is. I'm not going to try and glam it up to be anything better. I need to make sure that I only have one thread at the end that collects everything. Because if they... Wow, it's not necessarily a problem, but yeah, it's possible that I could have two threads running at the same time trying to collect everything up, which is orky. It's orky porky pudding and pie, and I don't know how to get around that. Because all of the threads are relatively equally, apart from the final thread, which is slower in theory because there's more. The threads should all be equally likely to finish on the same about time. I'm actually saying goodbye today, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on? Well, Laura got back quite late today because the buses were shit. And she came home and said, like, the next quiet area I have for a job is somewhere to park a car. That's what I said this time last year. Yeah, so we had a nice chilled out evening. We had fajitas for dinner, which were delicious. We then had a glass of red wine, homemade muffin, and then some Ben and Jerry's while we watched Gogglebox and TFI Fridays. It was great. So, been a lovely, lovely evening. Tomorrow, it's going to be a bits and bobsy day. We're going to vlog it. There's lots to do. I think I'm going to be able to get away with doing some work tomorrow as well, because I think Laura's doing a bit of baking. Laura's in charge tomorrow. I don't know what's going on. She is boss maker. But we'll go to bed. Thank you very much for watching the video, ladies and gentlemen, and I will catch you later.